Welcome to the Stocking It Zombies. I'm Amy, also known as Jane Itma.
And I'm Megan, also known as Just Run It. And this is episode 201. How are things?
I had a little frog in my throat.
And you couldn't get
Stocking
It Zombies out.
I couldn't. Going well. Started the Whole Life Challenge, so if you're on my team, it's much smaller this year. This time around, it's only half as big as it was last time. But hopefully people are out there and feeling like they're charging through. And if you're new to the group, welcome. I have been super busy and have been just feeling behind in keeping up with the challenge myself, let alone trying to lead the charge.
Mm-hmm.
But our next thing is to take an hour off of digital communications and media.
Mm-hmm.
So, an hour doesn't seem like that long,
until you think about. And there's got to be an app out there that tells you this, but like how many times an hour I unlock my phone and check it, or like even you don't even have to unlock it because the texts come up and you can kind of look at the screen, but like. I don't know what show it was, but they mentioned something about like the average person checks their phone every it was less than 2 minutes, I swear.
Oh, wow.
Like we just compulsively want to see if there's somebody else out there trying to get a hold of us or something important going on or
yeah, and I don't think about it that I'm not interested in the person that's talking to me.
Mm-hmm.
I think about it as in like, oh, I need to check that.
Mm-hmm.
like this is important, and I'm like, no, it's not. It's not more important than the person in front of me,
yeah.
and it is rude, and we need to start thinking about that as rude.
Mm-hmm. But tonight we were at I'll talk about it in a second, but we were at at Fall of Follies, 78th annual Fall of Follies.
Oh, okay, wow.
I'm mind blown that they've been doing that at the elementary school across the way for that long. Anyway, Quentin grabs Jeremy's phone out of his pocket and just like holds it. I'm like, is that how you use your phone, Jeremy? Because he holds it. Quentin holds it up to his face and goes like this, like it's not on. He's just pretending that he's using it. That's just like, what human being uses their phone 2 inches from their face? Clicking their fingernails on the screen, but it was funny. I found it fairly entertaining. But yeah, so we had a talent show tonight. Jeremy and I were joking before we went over. Quentin thinks he's a really good dancer, as per some of the conversations we have had on the show. And we're like, oh, so next year when he's in kindergarten across the way, he could, have to come up with a song and he could do a dance number, thinking that it would be completely unique to have a little kindergarten boy do a dance number. There was so many boys dancing tonight, just little boys by themselves to a number. One of them had a light thing where it looked like he was putting the light through his ear, with two-handed. It was wow, who would have thought that our completely novel little idea would have already been and last year there were no little boys that were dancing. But yeah, there was the land shark, and Dexter did Dexter's Laboratory, so he made conductive Play-Doh. They made conductive Play-Doh, and he made a thing, a circuit with a sound module chip that you could, when you connected the circuit, it would play the sound. Ellie and a couple of her friends did Honey, I'm Good, but we found the Kids Bop version that wasn't about drinking and going home with somebody that wasn't your wife. It was still oh no, honey, I'm good. And then the whole group started clapping and rhyme with it. I was just I love this. This is a completely supportive environment for little kids to have the nerve to go up there. And the last person did Metallica's Enter Night, with a drum set, and like a mosh pit ensued, and like the principal was over there like headbanging, and I was like, this is a really cool school. In my head, like I can't imagine my elementary school principal headbanging to Metallica, like just like mind blown. I mean, I knew she was a cool gal, but and then my favorite that was at my kids' was a guy went up and did had like a kind of like a Las Vegas-y show, like music overhead. I can't remember what it was, but did like a whole yo-yo routine. He was mad talented. Like I was like, there were no slip-ups or things ended up tying together. Like he rocked it. I was like, these kids got talent, yo. And I was that annoying mom in the crowd that was like, woohoo! Like at the end of the ones I liked. So hopefully my kids weren't too embarrassed by my over-exuberance at the other children.
Gosh, I don't know. Were there non-participants?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that my kid would be the non-participant.
No, yeah. They had to sign up and do tryouts, and there were plays. Kids did plays. A couple of kids went up and told jokes. Had a couple of magic acts. Jeremy was like, next year Dexter can do for Dexter's Laboratory Mentos and Diet Coke. I was like, no, that would be really messy. Really messy. Yeah, they had Land Shark, so like a skit where Land Shark came and ate. It was fun.
It's like, ding dong.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I'm just taking. It was. It was
an old SNL skit.
Yep.
Funny.
But with costumes and
funny.
It was. I mean, it was obvious that a lot of people had a lot of fun with it.
Okay.
Yeah. Only one let it go last year. There were a lot of let it goes. But yeah, no, that was my evening tonight, and that was fun. I had not this sock, but another sock on the needles that I was knitting. And a gal came up and was like, this is the perfect opportunity to knit, isn't it? And I'm like, oh, what are you knitting? And I'm knitting a bear. And I was like,
bear.
More street cred for my school. That there's other cool moms in the audience knitting away. So, yeah, it was fun. It was a good time. But yeah, the principal headbanging in the mosh pit was just like, this is a cool school.
Very cool.
Yes, very cool. Other goings on. You've got birthdays galore.
Yes, just got done with my daughter's birthday, and then now we're moving on to husband's birthday, and then I haven't even had time to think about our trip next week, so it's just been one thing after another.
The nice thing is that once you get on the road and you get there, it's like,
yeah,
just chill, man. I mean, we're not running a retreat. We're just partaking in somebody else's retreat.
And I do know that, like, I don't know, it'll be here upon me before I know it. I just haven't been able to enjoy that preamble. I haven't been able to get excited and prepping for it and whatnot. It's been very much like, oh my God, that's next week. No, I have too much going on to think about it.
Everybody at work, you're going to be out Thursday and Friday next week doing all these planning meetings. I'm like, I'm sorry. That's how it is. It's been on my calendar for how long?
Yeah, I had a similar situation. Yeah, some work is going to be available to work on Wednesday. Oh, great. So it's landing in my lap the day before I leave. So there'll be a lot of handing that off to somebody else. And it feels kind of like,
kind of wanted to like pull out a cup and be like, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. To them, because I'm like, sorry, but this is my time away. Like, have to enjoy it. Gonna miss me.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there was anything else that was going on, just that I wanted to mention. Definitely the Whole Life Challenge. Wanted to mention that because we have so many people doing that, and I feel like I haven't mentioned it yet.
Yeah. It's been cold.
Yes, very cold.
Warmed up a little bit.
trying to think. Anything else? No, I don't think so.
Okay. We had a bit of administrati, so we drew for the Imperial Yarn kit, the American Wool Tradition, where sustainability is a way of life. This is for their wonderful hat that Amy knit. So we got 2 of the kits, and Amy knit up 1 of them. This is their Tempest yarn in cream and blue. It is the chain stitch slouchy hat. Super beautiful. And super smushy single ply fabulousness.
Yeah, that's nice.
And we had 151 entries, so 2 through 151, and the winner was 121, which was Maria Wilhelmina Marriott. 121, I said that right?
Marriott.
Yep, you want to contact you? I felt like I sent out 3 prizes last week.
Okay. And Marriott, it'd be easier if I didn't have to mail the box, so let me know.
Are you in love with the box? She could cut off the top.
Yeah, I suppose.
And then you could have the pretty picture.
Yeah, I could do something with the folding and making it flat. And
well, you could put it in a plastic bag and it would chip the same.
I know, but it would get crunched and wouldn't be as pretty.
But would it be less pretty than just not having the box at all? Box or no box? That is the question.
Yeah, box or no box.
And thanks for everybody for playing along. So lots of favorite patterns out there, kits that folks had said they really liked. So that was there are a lot of kits out there on that website. For sure. And that is administrati.
Okay.
Yes. I wanted to make a plug. You have your year-long blanket. I guess that's not all of administrati. KAL going on. The self-striping, I don't believe I have any more bags or any more yarn to give away. So if you are a dyer or know a dyer that does self-striping, or are a bag maker that has a fun little sock bag that you'd like to have included in the KAL prizes, otherwise I'll probably just end up diving into my deep stash. I kind of need to cull my herd a little bit. Like, one of my bins is out of control.
As I think about the having a sitter for the husband and going out this weekend, I see all of the toys and the massive amounts of stuff just everywhere. And I'm getting really itchy to just throw it away.
Oh yeah.
It's to the point where I think it might happen this weekend. I might just get out a big bin and start going trash. Okay, that one can donate. Trash, donate. And getting rid of everything.
So you're talking about culling the toy herd.
Oh yes, the toy herd is beyond. And that might help me actually get to and see my yarn herd. Because right now that clutter is in the way of mentally
overshadowing the yarn herd. Yeah, I went through, and because I've been in this mode recently where like I want to get the pattern and I want to get the yarn, I want to put it in a bag. Don't know why. Like I've got a whole bunch of little bag soldiers all lined up in there that have the yarn, the pattern, bag, go bag. Like I can pick it up and knit it at any time.
Go bags, okay.
Mostly I've kind of gone into like I'm not in monogamous mode, which is kind of a little odd for me, but I just think like mentally there's so many things I want to be knitting that just helps alleviate that. But anyway, lots of yarn. So I probably have some self-striping in my stash that I can be pulling out for some of these early ones, but hopefully we can get some more folks involved. I've always loved the ones that we have in the past, so it's introduced me to some new folks and you guys as well. So, and then we have the Deja Q-Cal, which I am completely taking to heart because I have not only had a skew on the needles for the whole month of January, no matter what. Like if one gets bound off, another one is cast on. But now I've got multiples of them on the needles, if that's not crazy. So I'm completely skewing it up. Deja Q skewing it up. Any FOs?
No.
Nope. Okay. I got lots, but I'm getting to the end of my skew row here. I finished a pair of skews, so the gemstone skews have been completed. The OCD in me, it drives me a little bonkers that the red is, but obviously not enough to have ripped it out, is a little deeper in this section. I believe this is the second one I cast on. So when, and I've had that a lot recently, so when you look at it, it looks like I ended at a totally different place. But because there are so many every other row decreases on these sock patterns, on this sock pattern specifically, it's really easy to get them exactly matching. Like, you don't have to knit them 2 at a time to get them exactly matching. And so this is the gemstone out of it's the Muddy's birthday, out of the Two Sisters Yarn Co. I really like how thin the stripes got. I think I'm a big fan of thinner stripes rather than thicker stripes. And I also like that, like, a casual passerby, like my husband, might not completely understand that it's every single birthstone of the year, but like, to me, I look at them and that's what I see. So it's kind of like a hidden little secret that I know.
Cool.
But you might just look at and appreciate that they're super cool socks. So, I'm a big fan of the skews. And then I worked on my new sock pattern. I'm not going to quite share the name of it, but these are some knee highs for Miss Ellie. Her legs have gotten insanely long. Did you see that picture? Like, she looked like, I'm like, I can't believe that that's my daughter. Those are her legs. And again, the toe is just slightly different as far as the where I started in it. And so, again, she's like, but Mom, they're 2 different lengths. I'm like, no, I can count the pattern repeats here. There's a braid motif that goes up the front, and there's a textured gusset, and it's a toe up, heel flap and gusset, and then some calf shaping, and a fun little motif up the back as well. But she's like, but they're different lengths. I'm like, no, it's just a little off on the toe. This one has a thicker red section down at the bottom, and then that 2 rows is just enough to make them different at the top. And I like that. I want them to be the same length over the same ending and the same color sequence. And so she wore them a little bit, and I was like, you're going to have to take those off because we're going to have to take pattern pictures. And these will fit me. They will get just about here. They won't go over my calf, but the foot length stretches enough. I wanted to give her a little bit of room to grow. And this is Vesper Love Stinks. The blues, the reds, and the pinks. Not Halloween, Valentine's colorway. And she just ran around and was so excited and just absolutely loved them. Like, after I had her try them on, and it made me feel so happy and good. So, cool. And I shared that with her. I'm like, this makes me feel so happy that I knit these for you. So she's excited to find a skirt or something to wear them with. And we'll have to get a photo shoot of her wearing them and me wearing mine. And away we go. And then I had a very big week as far as sticking. So the last you saw it, it was all, and people, including myself, had some very serious doubts that the neck would actually steek and fit, and it did. It's a nice V-neck through the magic of steeking. So I went a little crazy with the sewing machine and did like multiple little sewn areas, and then I cut really close to the steek. I was telling Amy I'm not going to use any grosgrain ribbon because I feel like this is kind of a felty yarn, and it flipped over and it's laying down really nice. I don't feel like I've got any like stray bits kind of hanging out. I picked up, and I think that I may end up redoing the button band. The buttons are really far apart. This is the right gauge, and this is the distance, the number of stitches apart it's supposed to be. So it's just very gapey when I button it. But I did find really cute buttons. I thought these were super cute. They're triangles that kind of mimic the triangular aspects in the center there, and they're a spot-on color match. But yeah, the only way that I would really wear this, because the button band is so gapey, would be to just have that open at the top. And I did block it really long, because I'm used to blocking things really long. And when I had this not steeked, when I had it in the round, there was a lot of positive ease, and I'm not seeing that same positive ease now. So I don't think it felted. I did wash my swatch with the Bugga, not this Infinite Twist. It did not felt. So I did kind of a sanity check and made sure. I actually put it in with a bunch of my socks. Because I could also see where, like, if you watched a swatch all by itself, just a little thing, like, it wouldn't end up felting, but if you put in a big garment like this, it might.
Right.
So the sleeves are actually quite nice. I did kind of stretch those out within an inch of their lives. I'm really happy with it. I don't know how, the perfectionist in me wants to rip out the button band and pick up possibly less stitches and put the buttonholes closer together so it's not as gapey. In the past, if I've had gapey button bands, I've just sewn them together, but this is such a warm garment. I think I'm going to want to be the option to leave it open. So yeah. And so Amy and I kind of talked through strategies, thought about possibly blocking it a lot wider. That's probably not going to help some of the ruffling in the band, but this was the button band was fairly quick, so ripping it out and redoing it probably would be, it would hurt my heart a little bit, but that would be the toughest part. Like, you had that done, and the buttons sewn on. And although sewing on buttons on something that's symmetrical like this I thought was super easy. So like I went over to this side, I'm like, okay, this is where that started, and then, or I guess I went from the buttonhole, right? Like the buttonhole's here, so that means it has to be over here if I want them to meet up correctly. But yeah, kind of a bummer about the button band, but I love it all the same, and I plan on wearing it to the January Thaw just like this, unless it just really bothers me and I need to rip out the button band and redo it.
I'm just going to rip it out.
Amy does know me well.
For this world.
Amy does know me well. And sewing on buttons isn't all that hard. I used to kind of scoff at, like, if I have to cut that off, and it's so easy to just stick my little stork scissors in there and put it on in a different place. So I've actually these were in packs of 3, but they were on sale at Hancock. So I actually got like $15 worth of buttons for and I got another pack in case I decided I just wanted circles, or if these didn't fit real well, for I think it was like $5 or $6. They were like 40% off last week. So I actually have 2 more of these if I wanted to make the button holes closer as well. So it's kind of iterative, right? It's just progressively getting better, lean, agile processes of continuous improvement.
Yeah, and we need to do that sometimes with a garment. Otherwise, you won't wear it. Like I was wearing this today, and it's so open, and I was playing with the idea. It's like, I want to put a zipper in this. So I think I want to turn this into a jacket, a zip jacket, and I'm actually pretty excited about doing that. But I have to find the right zipper. Like, do I want a jacket zipper, or do I want it to be more like a sweater zipper? And I don't like that they have the creases in there. So how do you get those creases out when you buy them in packages?
So the challenge of figuring it out is exciting to you. I just want to make this right, because you're right. This is kind of like a opus, right? This is like, I love this yarn, and I love this pattern, and I've got the perfect buttons, but I would never wear it buttoned all up. I guess I can show folks. And I don't think it's really the fault of the pattern. I probably should have believed myself, right? Mm-hmm. There was that little voice in my head that was like, no, that doesn't seem quite right. Mm-hmm. And I motored on. Like, I had picked up the exact number of stitches that it told me to, and I had the row gauge, and I just knew, I went with what the pattern said versus what my personal experience was, which is that there's just too much fabric there mm-hmm. in between.
Yeah.
So one way to solve it would be to sew it down. That's not going to happen because it would be super warm. The other way to solve it is to rip out the band or just wear it open. So, solving the world's problems, one button band at a time.
Yes, I know that when I think about like the journey this yarn has had and how much the yarn actually cost, because it wasn't an inexpensive venture. I don't know why, but like today in the mirror, I was like, you know what? You know, the way that this I-cord edging is mm-hmm. and whatnot, this would totally zip, and it could be an invisible zipper, mm-hmm. and so I'm like, I want to put in an invisible zipper on my jacket, and it'll be a jacket.
Mm-hmm. I've never done zippers.
We did it in that Franklin Habit class, so
hand sewed it.
Yeah, we did, and that's all I would do is hand sew.
Okay.
Which I find meditative. I'm actually okay with hand sewing things in. I did an entire quilt hand sewn queen size bed, and hand sewed the whole thing.
This thing zoomed on the sewing machine.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure the quilt would have been much faster on the sewing machine too.
Yeah. Well, but like you said, it's all about, whether, for me, it's the product, right, with the sewing, and for you, that sounded like it was a process.
Yeah. Machine sewing is like get it over with, but I really like hand sewing.
Works in progress?
So I'm still working on this shawl a little bit here and there.
A lot on air.
Yeah. But, it is getting to be, like, towards the end. Like, let's see if I can show the end is nigh. So they're getting smaller. The solid color is getting really small. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it is getting big. I think the only thing that I've done that I'm regretting, but I won't care about in the future, and I know I won't, is that there were knots in the yarn, and I didn't fix them. I was like, it's not that bad. It's like it might bother me, but then I'll forget about it again. Mm-hmm. So, that was that, and then I worked on my socks from the sock blank. So they're getting longer. The green has grown, and I do think I'll stop somewhere in the next inch or so, because I've just been trying them on and going a little bit more, and I'll go another half an inch, and then I'll try them on. And so they are getting to the point where I'm going to need to bind them off, do a cuff and bind them off.
Because you didn't want to do knee highs.
Yeah, I didn't want to do some shaping, and also I was a little concerned. Like right now, everything seems to be fairly consistent, but then you get into this orange, and there's these weird greens in there, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to go that far with it. But I could change my mind. Not over yet.
I really like the green or the gray foot there. That's super cool.
Yeah. How they change, and it had just enough to get my foot, and then change color, so that was cool. My other is in here. So I'm working on the threshold for the January Thaw KL in Jeanette's MCN fingering weight. And so it is now in the round. I am only knitting and then doing the pattern side, so I'm hoping this will zoom. And if so far, progress so far is in the indication it will. Zoom. I got about another inch, and then it starts shaping, and the shaping is done in the back. Not along the sides.
That's fun.
Yeah, it's different. So that was progress on that.
Are you doing any skein alternating?
Yes, lots of it. Okay. The thing that there's one skein that has a lot of deep pops, and they ended up in the front piece. So I'm gonna try and then they came down, and now they're not as frequent. They're not as many, and so that will end up in the sleeves, which I think will line up with the drop shoulder. So I think that should be okay. So the main body will be less speckled with that darker one, and hopefully the sleeves will then have some of that thrown in so that it is incorporated from that top part. I don't know. I hope that makes sense. I've justified it that's I'm not starting over, and it'll be okay.
As long as you've got a reason, right? Then completely. Like me with my one button. I'll just wear it with the one button.
Just leave the rest of them hanging out.
Works perfectly that way.
And then I did actually knit on the Wonder Wander hat, but I had to rip it back. So I did decide that I'm going to do the red, and it coordinated so nicely with this bag.
Oh, yeah.
So I am going to be starting that again, and I think I'll probably do a different size. Maybe, I don't know. I'm a little, basically it ended up being too big, and it was a gauge problem. But not really a problem, because I think that's the gauge that I like for my Fair Isle. So I think I just need to go down a needle size so that gauge tension changes the size, or just go down a size and be done. Yep, stitch count, yeah. Just go down to the next lowest size and be done. Which actually I think is ultimately where I'm going. I think it was bigger enough that'll be okay.
Yeah.
Because I even tried on the partial that was not working and pinched that many stitches off, and it would still fit. Okay.
Very scientific.
It won't be too tight. Yeah.
That's how I feel when I do it. Like, how many less do I need to cast on? And I'll pinch it like you said, and I'm like, exactly. That's the number of stitches I shouldn't have here.
Exactly. Just pinch it and go, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that looks like one repeat. Woohoo!
Yeah. Excellent.
So, yeah, that is
Well, I hope you love the hat. I really enjoyed seeing the ones out on Ravelry and on Instagram.
It was addicting. I mean, I got through most of the first, I got through almost one chart before I ripped it out.
I'm sorry. No,
and again, same thing with your button band. It's like, this is seeming like it's big. Try it on. No, it's not bad. And then you get this much fabric on that hat, and you're like, this is floppy. What's going on? Because the button band seemed fine.
Then it becomes undeniable, right?
Yep, undeniable. So, oh well. It's alright. It'll get cast on again. It was just a hat. I don't even know how much time I spent on it. It was probably on the Saturday that I was doing it. It was probably just here and there, and got to the point where I was like, ripping this out. And ripped it all out.
I have a hard time stopping with color work. See this. Ooh, Oh, and I want to finish that. Oh, and I want to finish that. Is that it for your whips?
Yes, I'm trying to stick to those things. I know I have more partial projects other places, but these are the things that I'm actively working on.
Okay. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. I think I need to do one more. So this is another pair of SKUs. This is with the, this was a kit, so this colorway is actually supposed to match up with the fabric, and I believe that it does. And I'm not saying supposed to as a as in it doesn't. It's the Friends of the Forest colorway by Highland Handmaids in her striped maple sock. There are 320 yards for 100 grams. So this is a very beefy, almost like calling it jitterbug-esque, like sport type sock yarn. So you could see that it's fairly large there. I was thinking I was going to cast on some extra stitches, but ended up ripping that out, kind of a la your hat, because I was like, whoa, this looks like it's going to need to be felted to be a normal size. So no calculus hope for you with these, but really, really love. I mean, it's almost rainbow-esque, but it's not. There's a purple and the green and the blue, but like it's not a complete rainbow. I'm really enjoying that. And I've been actually walking. I don't walk with this, carrying this bag. I actually throw it in like my sling purse or our birthday kit bag, which zips in the correct direction so that I can just have the strand coming out and I can walk. So this is the Silver Shed birthday bag, and this is Girl Cave bags. I really like the foxes and the owls. And she's got a little pole fox there. Yeah. And you can use it as a progress tracker if you wanted to as well. Yeah. So those are one pair of SKUs, and then I've been knitting and walking with these over lunch. And I grabbed a couple of skeins and I was like, husband, which one of these would you like SKUs? Because he was trying on the main foot of this SKU, because I was trying to figure out what I would do for him. And I think I've been knitting the foot of his socks too wide. Like, it needs to be longer, but I don't think he needs any extra stitches. He's kind of got a long, skinny foot. And it was really funny. Like, I gave him 3 options, and he chose Sun Valley Fibers, MCN, and our Boundary Waters colorway from the whatever. And I was like, that's cashmere, and you've got cashmere socks. I don't really think that they like wear the best for you or whatever. So then I take that one away, and this was his second choice. But I really like this color. I want to have this color like deconstructed into the goldenrod and the emerald, and then the really kind of baby blue. I think it would make some fabulous color work, three color work of some sort. But this is Backyards? No. Mornings in the Backyard. It was the July 2015 colorway in the Showstopper base. And juxtapose that, this has 463 yards for 100 grams. So it's very lightweight. But have to go till 9.5 inches on this until I start the heel. So he's got that long, skinny foot.
Yeah, Leading Men Fiber Arts had a really cool sock blink today that I was like, I want that. I want that. And I did, and I said, I want it. I want Those are all one of a kind, the sock blinks, and so...
They're like improv, isn't that what they're called?
Yeah. So, like, if you wanted something similar, I think you would have to describe what you saw before, and it would not be exactly what you get. Which is understandable.
And then just before we started recording, I bound off the bottom of this. This is the White Pine. It's by Dre Renee. Knits on Instagram. The name that I could not remember was by Annie Claire last week when I was talking about it. This is Cyborg's Craft Room. It's her Targi base, the analog base, I believe, in the Punch colorway. And I didn't, at the time I was thinking that when I first started, so it's a provisional cast on up here, and you work down to the armhole, and then you work the other direction. When I got to these slip stitches, I was like, that's really not popping. I mean, this is a super squishy, super stretchy base. Like, it's got a lot of spring to it. It's just like boing, boing, boing. 100% Targi wool worsted weight analog base. There are 627 yards per skein, 250 grams. So I've used up a majority of one skein. I did not do any color alternating, so the sleeves may end up looking completely different. But with that slip stitch and no real break, like you wouldn't want to be doing a color yarn swap in the middle. There was just no good place to do it. this line is changing. You wouldn't want to do it here because, anyway, so I decided not to. I may end up regretting that decision later. But I think it cuts some really pretty lines. Even though at first I was doubtful, I really like the garter on the edges. I thought maybe it wasn't going to be long enough when I first kind of got started, because I did some rough math, because I don't know about you, but when you're doing like just knitting in the round for several rounds, I'm like, okay, like 3 or if every 4 rows is an inch and I've got so many stitches that I'm going in every whatever, I figured out the velocity, and I was like, this is going to be like really short. Like, there's no way it's going to be long enough for my body. But alas, it is good. It is good. Block a lot this way, hopefully, even though it's really springy. And I'm hopeful that I'll have the sleeves done and I can wear that at the January Thaw as well. I really like the tonalness of the yarn, too. So maybe that'll be my saving grace with the non-skein switching, how tonal the yarn is. But yeah, it was super addicting, because I wanted to get to the end of this panel going in to make sure that it was long enough, and it was. So got the neck and the arms set in, top down, cuff, sleeves, and away we go. I got a bunch of different colors of this, so I've got 3 other colors that I'm thinking about doing some more color work, because I'm trying to plan my next color work garment, because I'm kind of obsessed after knitting this one. And I don't know, I think I really like how rustic this was and how felty it was for the finishing, and this is very rounded and stretchy. Like, I don't know if that'd make for good color work or not. Stretchy yarn, good for color work.
I mean, I have done, so it said stretchy yarn, because I did the leather Alexis Winslow yoke one in Malabrigo Sport, or Tosh Sport, which was really, not Malabrigo, Madeline Tosh Sport.
Yeah.
And it was springy and whatnot, but I wasn't going to steek it, so.
Yeah, it's the steek part that maybe, I could choose something that wasn't steeky.
Wasn't steeky.
No steeky. And that is what I've got to show. Haven't really thought through what I will be taking to the January Thaw retreat to knit on. Probably some skews.
Yep.
As per
pretty safe bet.
Yeah. Well, I've got lots of self-striping yarn. Lots of. I really like the way it knits up as a variegated as well. I'm trying to think through what I want to get at the January Thaw, because she's got the wall of colors and wonderfulness.
I hadn't really thought about well, I take that back. I did think about getting the cashmere worsted for a color work mitten hat, something or other, maybe.
Yeah. That's been calling to me too, mostly because I've been wearing my hero and been like, there goes my hero.
And that adorable foxy sweater that a couple people we know have knit. So cute.
It's so cute and so warm and so soft. It's a lot of wonderful things that MCN. And you have your Punch Neuf out of it, so you know as well.
I almost wore it today. But.
And that closes up. That's got a gather in the front. That green is really pretty. If you ever need to get rid of it, it'll be your sweater surrogate.
Yeah, again,
that's a really springy yarn too, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of fabric here that I feel like goes unseen, because like most of the day it rolls.
Yeah.
And so granted the back is still fabulous, but
I like your zipper idea. I also have I have broader shoulders, and so the Hannah FedEggs coastal knits, they kind of fall off my shoulders, and I've done like a gather type button, or just an afterthought, like I-cord and then a button on the other side to kind of draw it together, or a shawl pin. But I like your zipper idea too. That would make it more like a jacket.
Yeah, I think that this is such a it's a significant, substantial yarn. It was destined to be a coat.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I want to be either your comfortable sweatshirt, zipped sweatshirt, or I want to be a coat, because that is what I am destined to be. So yeah, I think that I'll just go ahead and find a zipper soon. Maybe I haven't been crafty shopping in a while. Maybe that'll be a fun thing to do this weekend.
Crafty shopping.
Yes, where I'm picking out like felts for the banner, and
I can't go into the fabric stores. I end up buying way too much fabric.
yes,
It's a problem.
It is. I don't have that affliction quite yet, but I do have several piles of fabric that have, like, not recently, but just you notice, like, oh, like I bought 2 or 3 things of fabric there. What was I going to do with them? Because they're just sitting there. I'm not sure why they got purchased. And then I'll get probably another, like, 2 or 3 yards or some fat quarters or something, and be like, why did I buy that fabric? It just sits there.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't done anything with it.
Yeah, I have a fabric stash that doesn't rival my yarn stash, but for as little, I mean, I've sewn a lot lately, so all of those Christmas presents and whatever, but in general, I go out and buy new. I get those, right? So, yeah, there's no reason why I should have so much fabric, but it's fun to buy, and it's often on sale, and it's cute, and everybody's got something that, oh, Dexter loves superheroes, and oh, I want to get this for my mom. Oh, Ellie, this looks super fashionable for Ellie. And I say it in that high-pitched voice as well, right? Like,
Yeah, we'll have to get you and your mom down to my mom's fabric stash one of these days, just to walk through it.
My mom doesn't do flannel. She does fleece, and that stuff takes up a lot of space.
Okay.
So your mom might have more yardage, but my mom might beat her in mass.
I don't know. Does your mom have a outbuilding?
But she does have a very large home filled with, and she would kill me for talking about this. So no, my mom doesn't have any fabric whatsoever.
But she uses it.
She does. Probably similar to me and my yarn, though, right? Like, it does not rival the amount coming in. The amount going out does not rival the amount going out. But your mom, she's got a lot going out. So
okay. Well, Grandma Jill can make us some stuff if she needs to.
That's the thing. There aren't as many hours in the day to craft as you want.
Nope, never are.
Never are. Not enough to do any other things either, but neither here nor there. Did you have any enabling? I have a fine t-shirt that I'm wearing that you gave me for my birthday last week that I didn't get to mention. So
my only enabling that I'm going to mention is that I signed up for Loot Crate, and I just got another one, and they are up in their game. Mm-hmm. Like, that little box comes with so much stuff. So I would check out like on Instagram, you can see what people have unboxed. Mm-hmm. And if you think that that's interesting, it's becoming a really good deal to get a t-shirt and then a lot of other stuff. So it's, and their pledge for this year was a t-shirt in every box. So you won't even, like I think in past, they would have boxes that weren't with a t-shirt. And now it's all t-shirt all the time. Anyway, I've been pleasantly surprised with how much stuff is in those things.
Cool.
Even though it was kind of like a whim to sign up.
So you can sit with us.
Yes.
A story of acceptance of others. And we can link you to that. So I don't know if you wanted to say anything about the story behind it. Or
it's the kindness campaign. And it's just about how there's other ways of being a bully. You don't have to outwardly hurt somebody, but if you deny them to sit with you, or you don't invite them to sit with you, that's, I don't know, non-action is still hurtful.
And I thought it was fitting because we are inviting you to sit and knit with us every week when we record this. So I was like, I'm going to wear that tonight. And then You got some fun stickers, and
Yes.
we're making little knitting notebooks. So you brought some
So I had bought a moleskin notebook, and I bought it for work, and I really like it. Stuck my mermaid one on there. But right next to the moleskins in Target were these things at like way cheaper. But I knew that I liked the moleskin from one that somebody at work had. So I bought both to try it out. And I would say that this would be a great alternative to moleskin. The only difference that I could find, one, the binding is different, obviously, and it's not moleskin. It's, whatever you'll be knockoff moleskin, but it is very nice, and it seems like it would withstand a few spills and bumps and whatnot without too much issue. But I guess my other issue with it was that the lines don't go all the way out to the edge of the page. And so that's my major difference. And they're also not as wide, so fewer pages, but not by a lot, not by enough to justify the price difference. These were $6, and I even got them on a little bit more of a sale. They only come in crazy colors, so you don't get black. It's like blue, purple, your favorite greeny yellow, and pink. So they're not for boys unless the blue is neutral enough for you. And then you can decorate them with your own stickers. And
you got these stickers from
Red Bubble.
Yeah. So superheroes knitting, and
yep.
Ariel, the Little Mermaid, knitting with seaweed, and
yeah,
I love it. And I really appreciate it. So thank you, Miss Amy.
Yes, and so I think, I don't know, and I've been really, there's journaling as part of the Whole Life Challenge, so I thought I needed to pick up a journal that I could stick my knitting stickers on. But yeah, the moleskin one I decided was a work expense, in my opinion, so I went and I'm using that at work. And actually I can get 3 days of journaling in one page, so it's going to last a long time.
Cool. Paper crafts are kind of another thing that I love to stash. So I've got like lots of little notebooks and cards and.
Well, I know that most of your notebooks are actually smaller than those, so
that I can throw it into my knitting bag and jot down like, oh, okay, on this I'm knitting 2, purling 4, jotting down pattern notes.
Or maybe that would make a nice work one for you. And then you can carry your little knitting superhero with you everywhere you go.
I will find something to use it for because it's super cute. So make your own knitting journal or otherwise. Just have.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what's going to get written in there. I used to try to personal journal, and I found the process of rereading them painful. So I try to
every year my mom has done it for a very long time, so she can go back and tell me exactly what happened 5 years ago at Christmas. And she records all kinds of things in it, like if it was really cold or what was going on with the family. And I always kind of resolve to do it at the beginning of the year because there's that nice break, and then you can buy the yearly calendar and whatever. But then ultimately I think mentally I would like to be able to search it. So I would rather have it be electronic and digital in some way. So then I always go, I should probably just record that somewhere out online, and then I don't, and then another year goes by.
I think my problem with journaling is that I don't know what to say, or I get to be really personal and it's cringeworthy when you reread it. Whether it's, college journals that have things about boyfriends or, things that you don't necessarily want to relive, even if they weren't bad at the time. Yeah. And, I don't know. I do like work journaling, but that's just mainly like jotting down things that I need to do or remember to do, but aren't necessarily instant action items. and I've tried to do them electronically, and I don't know. It's not my thing. Apparently, paper is key.
Yeah, I've noted. I take a lot of notes at work digitally again, so that I can not have to transcribe them later and whatnot. And sometimes people do think that I'm not paying attention to the meeting because I'm taking notes on my laptop. So sometimes it's better if you do just have a piece of paper in front of you and pen, because then there's no doubt that you're taking notes about what everybody else is talking about. That could be an education thing as well, right? Like, I'm taking notes about this right now, typing them up as we're talking. Anyway, so that's enabling. And ZK stuff, we have a drafted, super cute logo and concept. We're talking about other goodies, and it's starting to feel very real. Very real. June is soon. Sooner than June is normally soon.
Yeah, exactly. We took 2 weeks away from ourselves.
We did. But we've got some really great ideas. Last year, about this time, I think we had started up some VKNs, and so I'll be looking out on the forums for some volunteers that would be willing to get those started. And Google Hangouts, and post a thread, or post it out to the thread. I'd love to get those started, and might start a poll out there as far as what night works best for folks. Again, because if folks were volunteering to head those up, then it wouldn't necessarily be limited to our calendars either. Woot woot. Anything else? All that to say, it's super exciting, and I love talking to people. So
yes, and some of our plans are very exciting, but they're time consuming. So please be patient. There's a few waitlisters outstanding, so there could still be some movement on the wait list. I'm sure I will be hearing from some people shortly. But
woot woot. That is all I can think of off the top of my head.
Okay, sounds good. Bye.
Bye, Ufta.